Hello, my stamping friends. Patty Edwards here with Why Stamp with Patty. And today is Tuesday, so it's time for Tuesday's tip. Today I'm going to be using some of our masking paper. Now, there are ways to do masking, but I would say our masking paper is really the easiest way because it already has, this nice adhesive on the back that's sticky, but yet not too sticky that it's going to, adhere to your paper and ruin your image. So if you've never done masking before, there are, lots of ways you can use this. But today I'm just going to show you just a quick, easy way to do it. And I'm going to use some new product that will be coming out in our new September to December catalog. And I'm so excited. It's going to go live next Tuesday, September 1st, which that's just amazing that it's already going to be September next week. And so this week I will be featuring this sweet products, and I will be using the Radiant Sunflower bundle that's in it. So it has, some floral images. It has this one leaf, and it has a cute little butterfly there. Has 4 different sentiments. Wishing you so much happiness, enjoy, thinking of you, and hello, friend. And then, of course, it has a coordinating die set that will cut out all of the images. Plus, I always love it when dies have this sentiment die. So you can pretty much, cut out the bigger ones fit nicely. But I've showed you before where you can make this die fit smaller things too. So maybe I'll repeat that on a Tuesday tip sometime. And then there's also a lot of coordinating accent pieces. So it has a sunflower that's large, 2 sunflowers that you can die cut at the same time. You have some leaf images here, and then these centers are for your little sunflowers. And you have this die that cuts out 2 vases. So this week I am going to feature this bundle, so you'll get to see. I think I used pretty much all of the pieces in this bundle. All right, and then of course masking paper. This is the product that I want to feature today. It comes in this package, and the paper itself measures 5 by 7, and there's 12 sheets. So you get a lot, and what you do is, whatever image you want something behind. So I'm going to take this piece of Very Vanilla, and I want to stamp this sunflower image that's in this bundle, and I want my leaves to be behind it. If I just stamped this leaf, the little stem and the edge of the leaf is going to overlap. So in order to do this where it's tucked under and you don't have to, cut it out and tuck it in, stamp it, die cut it, and color and everything, you can go ahead, and I have a little piece of the masking paper here. So you'll see that on one side it's kind of, it would be more like shiny or slick, I guess you could say. And on the other side, it's more of a paper feel. And these will separate from each other. And when they separate, there's a sticky surface on the paper. So if we go ahead, I'm going to take my sunflower stamp because that's what I want in front, and I want my leaves to be behind it. So I can go ahead and stamp this image on the paper side of my masking paper. And then I could use the die in here to cut it out, But I did that, and I just want to show you the reason why you probably want to fussy cut it. Now, this is one that does have a lot of little jagged edges, but once you do it, you can save this. It's not just a one-time use. You can save that masking paper and use it several times. But the reason why I didn't want to use the die to cut it out is you can see that it leaves a little edge. And that's nice when you're die cutting your image and you're going to put it on your project. But if we fussy cut it, we can cut right up to that outline of the image. And that's kind of important. So if I lay this, let me just show you, gotta line up find where these, here, I think this is, oh, here we go. You can see that the die cut leaves quite a bit more around it. And in a minute when I do it, you're going to see why fussy cutting it is a little better. All right, so I stamped it on the paper. I took my scissors and just cut around. And sometimes if it has a thicker border, I'll just cut right on that black line or just really close. And then what we want to do is then repeat this image onto whatever paper that we want to use for our project. And let's see, I am going to go ahead and ink this up. And stamp. Which way do I want that to go? We'll just go this way, I think. I'm just going to kind of stamp it in the center. What I'm using is a little piece of very vanilla cardstock. And I'm just going to make kind of a simple card today. Nothing real fancy, but sometimes we just need a quick little note card that we want to send to someone. So here's my image stamped on the cardstock. Now what I want to do is take my image that I cut out, and I have the backing on, and we're going to peel that off. And now see, this has a little sticky background. And then we're going to go ahead and find where this lines up with our image, which I think, let's see, we have to find where they line up. Oh, maybe here. There we go. So I am going to put this directly over that image just to cover that up. Now what I want to do is add a few of these little leaves that are in the in that set, and I'm going to go ahead and just stamp those in black also, because I'm going to color this in with some of our stamping blends. So now I don't have to worry about how far. I'm just going to stamp this leaf right over it and see how that overlaps that image. But that's okay, because I think I'll add 3 leaves. My little rule of odd numbers, it usually works out pretty good. Where do I want to put my third one? I think I want to put it down here. That looks pretty good. Sweet. Yeah, put it right there. And if it goes off the paper, that's fine too. All right, so now you can see that if I would have stamped those leaves without that paper on top of there, I would have all that double lines overlapping each other. But now we're going to take off our masking paper, and look, our leaves are tucked underneath there. So that's the easiest way to do that. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and see, this has sticky on it. So what I usually do is I can go ahead and just stick this to my image in my set, and I can use that several more times. So I don't have to cut it out every time. Okay, so now I'm going to color this. I'm going to use our stamping blends, and I'm going to mix a few colors. Sometimes people think, okay, I'm using daffodil to color this in, so I have to, that daffodil marker is, I'm just going to put on the tips a little bit of daffodil. Like you have to use the dark and the light only, but I like to mix the colors. So I'm going to be using daffodil and also our new golden glow. And we use, all three. I'm going to take the daffodil dark and just kind of add some lines. I like to kind of just use that little feathering motion to kind of get started sometimes with a flower that has lines going out from it. And then I'm going to take my light golden glow and add some more color here and bring that out a little bit too. And that way you get some different hues of color. And now I'm going to go ahead and, let's see, I'm going to take the dark and just kind of go around the circle to get a little more depth. And now I'm going to take my light again and just kind of pull some of that color together. So I'm just going outward to kind of blend everything together. And I like to just, coloring for me is kind of relaxing. I hope it is for you too. Some people don't like to, but I think if you just aren't in a hurry and think that you have to, okay, I got to put the dark on and I got to put the light on and then that's it. But you can go back and add a little bit of color, and then, if you like it, then stop. But you can go back and add more color in layers, because this has alcohol and as it dries, then you get more depth in your color when you add on top. So now I'm using some pecan pie, and I'm just going to kind of dot some color on here with the dark, and I'm also just going to, again, put a little line around there, and that just is going to give that some more depth. I wonder if I can get this a little closer so you can see better what I'm doing. Okay, now I need my light pumpkin pie, and I'm going to, and I am just really lightly touching the flower. With these markers, you really don't have to press very hard at all. So I just pull some of that dark and blend it in with the light. And now we're ready to do some flower, the leaves of our flower. So I'm going to take the dark old olive and just kind of run over the lines, and then maybe in these little V's of the petals of the flower that come out, I'm going to add some dark. And then we'll just go over that with our light old olive marker. And this, I am using the smaller tip because I have some little areas, and I'm just kind of going to go back and forth and kind of blend that, and then bring that lighter color to the edge. So you just kind of have to play around and get the feel of, you know, what the different tips are for. And like, you know, when you're working in a smaller area, sometimes you have a little more control with the bullet tip, and other times you do want a little more of this feathering motion of that paintbrush edge, because it does, but I'm thinking that I need to get a new old olive light out. So I'm going to go back to my bullet tip because there's plenty of ink in here. But I can blend it with either end. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. So the next thing I'm going to do, let's see, maybe I want to add just a little more of the light golden glow coming up from the center here. Yeah, that's good. And then I'm going to take the light daffodil and just kind of go over those edges again and do a little blending and fill in any little spaces that I missed. And there we go. Our flower is complete. All right. Now, the next thing, I'm just going to take my flower and figure out, all right, which way do I want this to go? I think I like it like that. So how I stamp this, you know, originally I was going to have this size of paper, but the way it's stamped, I'm going to cut this down a little bit more. I think I originally had a piece that was 2.5, and I'm going to cut this down to 2 1/4 and see if I like that a little better. Maybe I'll take a little bit off of this side too. This was 3 inches. And I think I'm just going to take a little bit off of both of those edges, because we want it to be centered. Pretty good. Let's see, we'll go a little bit off of this side. And then since I used these colors, I'm going to put this on some cardstock that is the pecan pie. Since I cut this down, I'm going to cut this also down a to 3 by 2.5. And then we'll just have that 1/4 inch border around there. Yeah, I like that better because then we don't have so much open space. I'll take this out of the way, and I'm going to bring this up a little bit. Let's see. Ooh, too far. Okay, get my stuff back in here. All right, now this is some fun paper that is in that suite also. Of course, that's called Sunflower Fields, and there's also a Radiant Foils specialty paper. But this week, this suite is the one that I will be featuring, so I will be bringing out more of the product, and I'll show you more of the paper throughout the week. So today we're just kind of featuring our little tip for Tuesday, and I'm just going to make this little card that's really pretty simple, but oh, and you know what? I was going to go I wasn't going to leave an edge, but then before my video started, my papers were laying and I had a little bit of an edge of the vanilla, and I thought, ooh, I like that. So sometimes your plan changes just because maybe the way the paper fell. And so I was just going to have these go to the edge of my card base, but I did like having that vanilla at the top because it kind of tied in everything together. So these are two of the papers that are in this. And then this paper, you can see, is shiny because it's Radiant Foil Specialty Designer Series paper, and there's 3 patterns, and it's only on one side because, you know, you don't want to cover that up. I'm just going to put a little strip across the middle there. So I'm just going to put my glue directly on here because I think this is a little longer than it needs to be. So I'm going to trim that off. Okay, so I'm going to turn that over, take my paper snips, and trim off anything that goes over the edge. I always, when I'm cutting my paper, I would rather cut it just a little bit longer than I need because you can't add it on, but you can always cut it off. So there's just the base of our card. Now I have my little sunflower here. I'm going to adhere this piece that we stamped onto some pecan pie. That's just 1/4 of an inch bigger. And then I can put that on there. Might as well pop it up. You know, that always makes things, you know, and you can decide whichever way your flower looks the best. I think we're going to go this direction. So I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals just in the corners here. Take my pick tool and get those backings off. Going this way. And then I'm just going to center that right in the middle of my little band there. So we have, this paper is more golden glow. This is old olive. And so that's why I kind of added the golden glow. And, you know, it had some lighter shades, so I added the daffodil. But that's just a quick and easy card and a great way to use that masking paper. So you don't have to worry about these leaves overlapping, or, you know, then when you're stamping them, you're trying to figure out, oh, I'm going to just put that stem right there. And then they kind of look like they're floating. But if you can tuck them under by covering up with the masking paper, that is the best way. All right, now, these little jewels are radiant gems, and they are in this suite also. So we have to add our little pizza resistance to our card. My friend Kira was here the last 5 days. It's so quiet around here because she was here and my brother's dog was here. We had such a great time, and I miss both of them, but especially Kira. We made a lot of cards. So this has some green, but I think I'm going to use the more yellow ones. And I'm going to put one here. We have 2 sizes, so we'll put large and a small there, and then I think I'll add another small one up here. And there we go. That's our card for today. Just simple, easy, and I hope you give that masking paper a try because it is wonderful for, you know, covering up images, and then you can, you know, stamp something on top of it and it'll look like it's behind it. So have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.